Most video agency owners can't scale because they don't have a scalable client fulfillment system. And what this means is they don't have a way when a client comes in to consistently and repeatedly get them results, or every time they do enroll a client, everything is completely custom. And this ultimately kills their ability to scale. And the reason I know this is because I've worked with over 500 video business owners to date to help them grow their business, scale their business, put scalable client fulfillment systems in place so they can actually grow their business and not have all the headaches of constantly doing custom projects and different things for each client that they work with. And today's video, I'm going to be breaking down what that looks like, some tips you can use, and how you can start doing this in your video business so you can start scaling and not have every single client you work with be a different fulfillment system. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to go over to the iPad. Today we're going to be talking about the scalable client fulfillment system. And when I say this, I mean scalable in the sense that you have a conveyor belt, you have people coming in every single week, month, and year, and they get the same results. And the first part of doing this is mapping out what we call a client journey. Now, a lot of people don't think about this, but when a client comes in to work with you, they start their journey. Just like how a lead starts a journey working with you, they see you online, they Google your website, they see your ad, then they start to go through those touch points and start to build trust and likability with you. Now, once you have the sale, it's kind of like this wall and the journey starts all over again. That's the way I like to think about it. Now, this is important to note because we have to have what we call activation points within this journey. And an activation point is essentially the client getting a mini win or a result when they're starting to work with you. And our idea here is to take the person here, this is your client, and drag them from each activation stage as quickly as humanly possible. And this is important because it plays on a factor called TTFV. And what this means is time to first value. So think about it as if you join some sort of program. The time to first value is when you first get that first taste of like, oh, I've gotten some value from this. I've started to learn something here. I've started to get a win. I made some money. And like the time to first value doesn't always have to be a monetary thing, but it does have to be something, right? So let's say when a client enrolls with you, within a couple of days, they get their scripts for their videos. That would be an example of time to first value because you just gave them the scripts. Now they're excited. Now they can start to see the path ahead. And that would be, for example, could be your activation point number 1. Now, activation point number 2 for you could be something like you deliver the videos for them, right? And then activation point number 3 could be that you publish the videos for them and they start seeing results from those videos. But the goal is like what bad video business owners do or video agency owners do is they enroll a client and then they just kind of don't have a process for working with them. And it's kind of like, okay, we're coming in, we're going to create some videos for you. We're going to do these things for you, but there's no real like choreographed behavior with the person, if that makes sense. And the best video agency owners and what I've learned growing my agency and my businesses is you have to have a choreographed process for when a client enrolls with you. It's a choreographed, beautiful process, and it's the same thing every time. That's the key thing here, is it has to be the same. If it's not the same, then you have, think about how fragmented it gets when you have 100 clients and each journey is slightly different. It makes you want to pull your hair out. It's also impossible to hire and train staff to take care of those people. It's really, really difficult to get them the same results because everybody's different. So we have to make sure that we are choreographing this client journey, and we use something like a Monday board to basically list out, okay, this is month 1 with us, this is month 2 with us, this is month 3 with us, and then inside of that board under each month, we have like week 1, 2, 3, and 4. Week 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we mapped that out so we know exactly what our clients are doing at each stage of the journey, and we can keep it very cohesive, super tight, and we know exactly where everybody is in the stage so no one gets lost. So having that activation point is super, super critical. So first thing I want you to do is identify what are your actual activation points. What do those look like? And you got to map those out as far as how can I get my client to that first activation point as quickly as humanly possible. Now, this comes into what we call like creating a conveyor belt. And I touched on this already a little bit, but it's super important that you have a simple, repeatable system because I want to turn clients, let's say this one is like neutral about us, and then they come in and they start to develop a smile, and then they start to get even happier, and they get even happier, and this one's like, hooray, and then this one gets even happier, right? And these people are getting happier, 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 and then what I can do is I can renew, and that renewal turns into more money here, right? So that's super, super important because if I can have a choreographed process each time, then they come in neutral about us, they start to get happier, and then I have a system that just churns out happy clients that love me. And that's super, super key because when you're enrolling and you want to scale and you're enrolling, 20 to 50 clients a month, the process has to be the same. Like you cannot be doing different things. Otherwise you're going to hate your life. And I'll tell you that from experience. Like you have to be doing the same process every time with each client. So you get repeatable, consistent results. And you want to think about it like a client satisfaction factory, right? It's a factory that client comes in, You do the same things with them, they get amazing results and they're happy, and then they move on to the next, right? And you either renew or ascend them into continuing to work with you. And so you have to have that conveyor belt. Now, let's talk a little bit about like how you actually manage these clients. I see a lot of people who are like, I do phone calls with my clients, I do text with my clients, I do WhatsApp, I call them, I email with them. And the problem is when you start to get all these clients, you have to build systems that work at scale. And the way you build systems that work at scale is you have one main communication channel. And so for us, we don't do email, phone, text, calls, anything. All we do is Slack. And you can see each one of these clients that we have here, they have their own Slack channel. So this is one client, this is another client, this is another client, and they all have their own Slack channels in here. And so what that does is it builds, it's very easy because when I add another client, I just add another Slack channel and then it just goes on and on from there, right? And so I have each one of those clients and I just keep adding them to the channels, and then I can add all of my teams into this channel. It becomes like a big group chat with all of my team members. And so what I do, and this is what we're going to do next, is we can hire what we call a CSM, and that means Client Success Manager, if I can spell today. Hold on, manager. And so the client success manager is responsible for the coordination of each one of these clients. And so when you have each one of these clients, you can have your editor in here, you can have your videographer in here, and you have your CSM in here. And your CSM is basically coordinating all of the tasks with the client to make sure that they are taken care of and all of their requests get answered. The problem with having email and text and all these other things is it starts to fragment the communication. And if they email you but you didn't see it and you're busy, then your CSM manager doesn't see it, and then it's confusing. Whereas this is, just think about it as like Slack is like a group text for each one of the clients, but a professional group text, so then everybody's in the same place. And it's also how you start to remove yourself from fulfillment, because then I don't have to be involved in the conversations. I can have my team and my CSM manager in those conversations. And then if I ever want to see what's going on, I can just click into the channel and take a look at what's going on in there. So that's how you start to build, we start to build actual systems that allow us to scale our fulfillment processes and get clients consistent results. And to kind of go back to this example here is once you graduate them, it's not only a renewal, but you can also get a case study, right? And so like we've developed hundreds of case studies with the clients that we work with. It's because I have a repeatable system for getting them results. And I know, okay, great. After activation point number 3, I can go in for a case study with them. And it's the same choreographed process every single time. It's kind of like a dance. So when a client comes in, it's a choreographed process and we dance along the activation points, and then I get them on a case study. I highlight the results and what they were able to achieve. And then we go in for a renewal and we ascend that person, and we keep doing it over and over and over again in a manner that's super repeatable and scalable. So hopefully this helps. I wanted to go a little bit more in depth into this. And if you have questions or want our help actually implementing something like this, go ahead and click the link below, schedule a demo with our team, and we'll see if we can help you implement a scalable client system like this for your video agency. We'll see you there.